All right, good morning, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. My mic shows to be on. This is JRock, your host, and we are going live to make some money in the Forex market. Where are we at this morning? So we got some people finally coming on here. Let me know what's going on. Type something in the chat box. Good morning, sir. I see you. Trying to make sure we're in the right spot here. Let me just say, because it didn't pop up on my end. All right, there we go. Let's do it. So I'm about to show you where I'm at. I don't know what we're going to do here on my end. Let's see. All right, so you got me loud and clear. Okay, let me go ahead and move this out of the way and minimize that if I can. So what I'm currently in, I'm in a buy on Euro AUD. I think that's getting ready to launch. So I just got in a minute ago when I jumped up out of the bed and saw what was going on. I also got into a buy on gold. I saw it had come way down, and so I just bought it down here a minute ago. Still a good buy. So I'm in a buy on XU. I'm in a buy on EA. And for the heck of it, I'm in a buy on GJ. Normally, I only trade 1 to 2 pairs at a time, but I'm going with the euro against the Australian dollar, gold against the US dollar, and the pound against the Japanese yen. So I've got 3 moves right now that I'm playing 3 totally different pairs, 6 total different currencies. So I'm not playing complementing pairs. I'm not trading things that are going to get me in trouble. If the currency goes one way, then I lose triple because I'm trading 6 different currencies. And I like the pound against the yen. It's a very big, aggressive, fast mover. You see how quick went up and came back down. It actually stopped me out. Made a little bit of money last night on it, on the rally up, and then I moved my stop loss into profit somewhere around here, and it stopped me out when it fell. So I just got back in. I'm in a buy on the pound yen. I'm in a buy on gold. You would be able to get in where I'm at right now if you got in, because it's still in that general area, but it is broken above the 5 and the 10. I played the anticipation. It was putting in multiple candle bottoms. So I played that down here a minute ago, and I'm going to buy on Euro AUD. So if somebody can type that in the chat room, bought or buy EA, Euro AUD, buy XU, and buy GJ. Those are my 3 buys that I'm in right now. How far is buy XU? Thanks, Brianna. I will get to the take profit here in a minute. Here's the thing that people generally do is they love to cut their profits short and let their losses run. So you're quick to say take profit, but we've got to look at it and say, how long is this puppy going to run? And the key is you want to move your stop loss into profit. Use a trailing stop loss. With the pound yen, it is a crazy pair, so it will shake and bake and sometimes can shake you out. Now, let's go ahead, just to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. Pitmaster, and see where XU is going to go. So I'm going to do what I always do. I go out to the longer time frame and I analyze what it's doing over the course of several months. And we see that it has, well, there we go. Looking good. It's on the top of the 5-month moving average. It's at resistance at the 50-month moving average. We broke through it a little bit, came down. That is a solid bull pennant pattern if I ever saw one. That is screaming, buy me. Okay? That says, you want every piece of me you can get right now. I love the look of that, man. That is phenomenal. And I mean, we are right down at the almost at the bottom. So that was a great sell-off, good timing to get in on this one on the month moving average. And here we are on the week. Let's go ahead and look. The week, wow, we have cleared the 200. We are also in a bull pennant pattern. That is a triangle, looks like a golf flagpole on a golfing hole green. And we have pulled back almost to the 20-week moving average. Let's see if I can zoom in one more time. We are under the 5 and the 10. We're above all the rest. So we're above all the intermediate and major moving averages, which are your 20, 34, 50, 100, and 200. I am recording this so you can go back and take a look. All right. Right now, we are expecting a bounce at some point. When this thing runs up, it doesn't have to come all the way down and touch the 20 or the 100 or the 200. Sorry, the red line. It can turn and run because the end of the moving averages are still moving based on the calculation of the closing price of the current candle. So if this runs up, then this will pull up from here where it starts to here. It will pull up a little bit, and it could touch the end or the bottom of this wick. So this is putting in a lower wick. You see there's no upper wick on the week for XU. So normally what I tell you is when the candle opens on the longer time frames, it goes the opposite direction first and puts in a wick. Then it turns around and puts in the body, powers way up, and then it kind of reverses toward the end of the week or somewhere in the middle. And then it puts in that upper wick and closes out that body. Like you see the wicks on both ends. It's very rare you're going to get a candle that has little to no wick on a longer time frame unless we're in a very strong move one way or another. And here we're in a bull pennant pattern. So that is what we're seeing right now. I'm going to go ahead to the daytime frame. We have a little bit of a sell-off still. 127. I'm still above. So the daytime frame looks good where we came down. We know on the week and the month, this area right here is where the 5-month moving average is, and the 20 and 200 period moving average on the week time frame. So we're looking good on the day. Let's go ahead and jump to the 4-hour. Yep, looking good. Had a nice sell-off on the 4-hour, but we know that right here in this area is, as I said, the 5-month moving average and the 20 and 200 week moving average. So we're looking real good right here on this time frame. Let me look at something else real quick and see. So Euro AUD is having a little bit of a sell-off here. Let's see where we're at. That's all right. It's still sitting right here, so that's gonna bounce. But I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. Let me finish XU, H1. So the hour one, we had a monster sell-off, as you see, on XU, and we know that we are at the support levels on the longer time frames, and major support on the longer time frames. So a good, solid bounce, looking good right now on this. You know, we could get a bump up and then a retest of support, double bottom, or we could just take off and go straight up. This thing moves like wildfire once we get rolling. 30-minute time frame. Let's zoom in on that. And I'm going to get to your questions here in a little bit. We're just analyzing one step at a time. So we're putting in a multiple candle bottom of support. As I said, the multiple candle support is sitting on the longer time frame support. You can go look at them. And we're going to drop on down to the 5 and see where we're at. All right, so we're sitting on top of the 5 and the 10 period moving average on the 5-minute time frame. Got a little resistance here, but we're going to break on through it, I'm pretty sure. So we just had to pull up, retest it on the 10. Now we're getting ready to hop on top of the 5, and we may slowly trek on up. As you saw, we got below the 5, retest to the 10, and then we've got on down and held the 5 and the 10 all the way down. Now we're getting ready to do it on the upside. Hold the 5 and the 10 all the way up is my expectation. Let's go ahead and look at UJ. UJ has had a big run up. That's why XU has gone down, but we're looking like we're turning a corner here. Even on the 5-minute time frame, RSI is overbought. And if I go to the 30-minute and 1-hour time frame, nice. Yep. Oh, yeah, look at that. That 108.20 was my resistance line, and we went through that a little bit. So let's go ahead and see, why did I put that there? I'm going to go on out to the day time frame. Not there. The week time frame. Not there. Maybe it's on the month time frame. Might have been the 4 hour. So I'm trying to figure out where oh, yeah, we are. That 108.20. If you see, I put that line right here. It was almost at the 5. I was anticipating this 5-month moving average to be right about that area that we could go up and touch it. And then we're going to probably come on back down and break down. I do not see the US dollar rallying. I see weakness. So, it's a possibility it could rally, but I'm not too sold on the US dollar rallying. And then we actually move this all the way over here to get a better feel. So that's why I have that there. And then if I go to the week time frame, I put a line of resistance across at 109.03. I don't think it's going to go that far. And actually, I had that probably from a couple weeks ago when it was right here. So I could actually move that line down to about right there, 108.56, because there's your 20-week moving average. That could provide some strong resistance in this area. And then we could do a drop on down after that. So let's go on to the hour. Oh yeah, we got nice and high above your 5-hour time moving average, and we're way in. If I look right here, that relative strength index, move this out of the way here, is at 78. Nice and overbought territory on the 1-hour time frame. You see, when we get up, have a big run up, then the next candle we're going to pull on back. So that's my expectation here. Nice pull on back. XU is going to rally as that goes down. So we are in good shape on XU, looking good. All right, let's look at EA. And a little more of a sell-off here than I anticipated. That's all right. I still fully expect this to turn and run up. And I'm going to show you why. Euro AUD, let's look at the month time frame. And I'm going to scroll out. What's going on there? We are at a resistance area, almost like a double, triple top that we could come down. But what have we broken above? Well, we broke above the 200-month moving average. We're above the 5. We're above the 10, 34, the 20, 50, and the 100. We're above all the moving averages right now, and this is pushing up. So we had a run up, and then for April, we've come all the way down and just tested or bounced off of this 5-month moving average. So when this goes up, this is going to pull up. The end of this 5-period moving average is going to pull up and touch the bottom of that wick just like it did here or here. Okay, so I have a strong feeling we are going to run up and power through this resistance area that you see way over here. We're looking real good on the month time frame for Euro to rally against the Australian dollar. Very, very solid looking bull flag pattern right now. And that is on an upswing, so we're sitting perfectly on the 5-week moving average, nice and propped above it. At resistance, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6-week at resistance. That's why I fully expect this to boop, take off and run. And a slight pullback now, as you know, on the lower time frame. That's okay. The longer time frames all say breakout. So we still got to get right up here, and we could do that. This is this day. So we could have a nice run today up to 61. That would be 100 pips. We could rattle off to get up to about right here, and then tomorrow, and then the next day. But here's your high level mark is 62, and we're at 600. So in the next few days, we could rattle off 200 pips on the euro against the Australia. Okay, you see that very bullish setup. We're coming off the bottom of the bounce on a nice uptrend. So we're going to do a continuation on up. I do not see it dropping. It'd be very odd if it did. Let's go on to the 1-hour time frame. We'll skip over. All right, so the 1 hour time frame, up, down, still kind of consolidating in this area. So the lower time frames are just consolidating, but any moment now we could have a nice strong rally, and we're only 10 pips off of where I bought in at 60.17. We're at 60.07. So the expectation for that to rally here in a little bit, still very strong in my mind. That's a good one. Fanuel, very odd if it dropped. Yes, AUD, odd. Play on words there. Okay, so here we are on the 30-minute time frame, still looking good. Zoom out there. We are getting ready. We're in an uptrend, and look at this RSI getting ready to bounce off your 50 level as we have dropped off. So when you get in an uptrend, you start riding between the 50 and the 70 or 80, whatever mark you want to put. I have 70 on this chart. Some of them I will do 80 and 20 to give me a better reversal opportunity. But on this chart, I have 70 and 30. So when you get an uptrend, it rides in between here. When you get in downtrend, it stays down below. But uptrend, we still can have a pullback below the RSI 50. That doesn't mean anything. We did have a drop off. That's where you want to move your stop loss into profit so that you don't give up too much. All right. And we are on the 15-minute time frame. So we had a big run up, pullback, bounce. Still looking good. Not going to belabor the point. I still think this is good. All right. So this is a 5-minute time frame I got in over here. So it's dropped off in the last several minutes. Nothing major. Still expectancy. All right, GJ. All right, GJ. So it is also consolidating in this area. That is a 5-minute time frame. We are above the 200. Let me go on to the longer time frames. I analyzed these in the earlier session. So we've hit resistance at the 34. We've got support at the 20. Come way down, bounced up, hit the resistance again, come down. I fully expect we're just going to power through this, go all the way up to 160. Okay, so the yen is probably showing a little bit of strength right now. The week time frame. Okay, on the weekly, beautiful. GJ is sitting right on top of the 5-week moving averages, above all of the moving averages, except for the 200. So the view of this is it's going to rally all the way back up, and then we're going to get in, like once we rally up, break up, we're going to start getting in a trend going up again. So we've strong up and then a big drop off. Then we've gotten back on top and consolidated a little bit here, going to get up, and then we should start climbing to 160 over the next couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, I don't know. This could do that in 1 week. Look at that long week candle coming off of the bottom right here. So this could go boop, pop way up here. Let's see how many pips that was on this one. Came from down here at, call it 142.50, and it rallied to 151. So that is, let's say, 850 pips, 870 in 1 week. What? 870. Let's get some of that. All right. Let's go down to the day. Coming off of support right here, off of the 20 and the 100. So we dropped, we gapped up, pulled back, and now we ran up. We haven't quite hit the 5-day moving average, but we could power on up through that, like when we came down here, boop, and then this one dropped down and powered up through it. That's what I'm expecting. A big run up, 152.50. We could pack on 150 pips today. Euro AUD needs to get its wheels on, and let's get moving. I don't like this much drawdown. Get rolling, friend. All right. XU is looking good. Got to power through this resistance level, and then it'll boop, boop, start packing on some poundage. All right, GJ, 4 hour. Getting on top of that 5 right there. And if you see when it had all this resistance at this level, bounced up, then a big drop off when news came, bounced up, found resistance at the 34 and support on the 50. Just take a look at that, and you see these moving averages. So support on the 50 bounced up, squeezed in, and then everybody thought it was going to whoop, and then it held, and it bounced up into the 10, came right here, went up a little bit, and then plummeted again, but then came back up, rallied hard to the 20. Then we dropped off and then held under the 5 and the 10 all the way down. Then we've come all the way, and we know on the longer time frames, this is the support level that it's gotten bounced off of. Now, we are finally back on top of the 5. We're at the 10. Even though we're under the 100, this 5 is curving around. So we've got to power through this. We'll go up here, pull back a little bit, then we're going to power through it, and we should continue to hold that 5 as it wraps around and continues on its nice uptrend. All right. So that is what it's looking like there. And let's see. Gold is looking good. Euro AUD is still looking like it wants to bounce off of this. That's a 5-minute time frame. So Euro AUD had a little bit more of a sell-off than I anticipated, but it just bounced right off of that 100 on the 5-minute time frame. So we may go up from here. So if you're late to the party and you get on EA, Euro AUD, this should be a good play right here, right off of 160 is where it came down, almost touching 160. Good play all the way back up. Expect to make some pips off of that one. Okay. GU would not necessarily move in the same direction it would in the case of XU, but not necessarily GJ, because GU is moving against the US dollar. So it had a monster sell-off, so it's going to do what XU does, or EU. So if I were to pull up EU, you would see the same type of sell-off. Now look at this. If I go to the 1 hour time frame on GU, that is a big sell-off. But look where we're at. Double bottom. Anyone? You want some of that? Let's see. All right, so it has room to fall on the day chart. Let's go. I did an analysis on this earlier. So we are at resistance. We hit the resistance level of the 50-month, came all the way down. We've got some support right here. We don't have to go all the way down. We're at 139.60 right now. We could bounce. Okay. Yeah. Tante Briggs, a buy stop on EA if you want to do that. I'm a bottom fisher, so EA, I am liking EA to rally from this point. So this would have been a good buy. I bought it over here earlier thinking we were going to rally off of this point, but it dropped off. So you're getting in a better position than me if you get in now. But definitely if you put it up here, yep, that's a conservative play. This is the more aggressive play. Give me maximum pippage because it's at support on the longer time frames. All right, back to GU. So the month time frame looking good eventually for a rally. The week time frame, we are at resistance as well. The 200-week moving average, we pull back a little bit. If this rallies up, then this 20 could come up just a little bit. I don't think we'll come all the way down. This is 38. That's too far down for my liking for that to fall. I don't think it'll go that far. Just depends on what the US dollar does. But it looks like we're at a double bottom right here across the day time frame. And I said that on the 4 hour time frame when I zoomed out. Double bottom. That's a few days ago. So we could bounce here. That would mean the US dollar would drop, and that would be consistent. If we come on down here. So XU still looking good for a rally. So I'm in the money on that. GJ almost, I am in the money on that. So let's go ahead and bring this down to the 5-minute. So nice little setup at resistance, wanting to push on up. So I'm a little bit underwater right now, but once this pushes back up, then we should be good. I think it's going to rally because this big drop off, it's settling in, and then it's going to want to start to get in a nice steady climb up. Okay, do you consider horizontal support and resistance zones too? Absolutely, but moving averages provide all of that, in my opinion. So I play the moving averages for the move that is taking place right now, and I find that I can just look at a chart like I did with GU and say, double bottom. I can see that right there, 139.66. That's a solid support zone horizontal. You know, if I pull up this, let's see, this thing that I did. Is that it right here? Hang on. All right, y'all should be able to see that. So you can't hear anything. Well, let's see. I'm going to teach you about the power of moving averages. Currently, we're looking at a chart. Can you hear that? It is called generally a chart. And I'm going to show you the first step that people will normally do whenever they. So this is what I'm saying that most people normally do is they mark up their chart with lines of support and resistance and find different tops and lows so they know what's going to go. And then they also do, let's bump this forward. They do channel trend lines. Get this moving forward here. They also do diagonal channel trend lines. You can do narrow trends. You can do big trends like that. But what I show you is that once you start using moving averages, then you see you don't need to draw those lines in because the moving averages show you where the support and resistance at. That's the 10-period moving average. And then when I start adding more moving averages, you see that there will be support at these levels as well. And then we get down here, you've got the 5 and the 10. So you'll see it'll hold the 5 closer. So why do you need to draw in lines when the moving averages do it all for you? That's my point. Point proven. All right, back to GU. So I know we got support and resistance right there. So that's what we're looking at. Gold is now nicely in the money, pulling up. Euro AUD is coming back to us. So it should start rallying, get a nice rally there. And GJ still kind of hanging in there, hadn't really popped yet, looking like it will here shortly. Okay, that being said, let me jump over here and see where you're at. Find the chat box. Come on, where's my chat box? Hang on one second. I'm trying to get that chat to pull up. There we go. And each time I do that, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to what you guys were asking about. Yeah, the dollar index, I think the dollar is going to fall. So we looked at that on the earlier call, my friend UJ. I think UJ is going to fall. Let me make sure you guys are all muted here real quick. I guess it did that. Okay. So take profit on EA. Let me go ahead and see where we're at on EA. When this gets in a trend and starts running, we're still at that resistance zone, that consolidation phase. So that's a nice point. I think it's going to go, we're at 160 roughly. I think over the next, we're on the hour time frame. If you want a resistance take profit, that's only 50 pips up, 160.55. I think it'll go up to 162. It'll revisit this area. So it's going to go up and down as it goes. But if you want a longer term play, I think 162 is where it's probably going to find the strongest resistance before hesitating in that area and then pushing on through. That's what I think on that. That's EA. So 160.50, 161, 161.50, 162. So here's the 4-hour time frame. You see solid resistance 162, but we've come way down. And look at this. We're putting in this is an inverted. There's your inverted head and shoulders right here. So we got your left shoulder, your head, and then your right shoulder being put in here. And here's your neckline going right across this way right here. So this is your neckline. I'm going to draw that straight across. And once we break, which we've already set on top of that, we're going to power up through it here in any minute. That is on EA. So still looking good for a rally on that. Just hasn't broken out yet. Still sitting on the bottom. And this is on the 4-hour time frame, still sitting on the bottom. So I'm going to go back to the 5-minute. That's my take profit on EA. Whatever you are comfortable with doing. Got some support here. So it's just taking a little bit to play out. XU getting on top of that 5. So it looks like it's going to ride that 5 up, may get a little more aggressive. This was an aggressive move down. We could have a little more of an aggressive move up. But see, this is below all the moving averages. We've still got to clear these moving averages, even though this is a lower time frame. It's not that big of a deal. Let's go to an hour time frame and see. Yep. So we got to pop up and then get on top to start rallying back up. You see the drop off we've had over the last few days. 1, 2, 3, and then a nice drop off. So we're going to get a bounce back up here at least, and then maybe a rally up. It's just going to take time to develop, or it could be very aggressive. All right, next question. 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 100 and 200. Missing the 50. EN. Let's look at E to the N. All right, kind of bipolar action this morning. Up, down, up, down. So it's really shaking some people out, and that was a move to 170.75, and then a drop all the way back to 170.18, somewhere around there. So that's 57 pips. So it ran hard, stop hunt all the way back up, back down. EN still looks good for a solid buy at this area that it's going to turn and run up. It's still in a very convincing bull pennant pattern, more like a bull flag pattern, with increasing, holding that 200 on the 15-minute time frame, which if you go to the 30-minute time frame, is going to be the 100 right here, because you double the time frame, you cut the moving average in half. So the 200 on the other 15-minute 100 on your 30-minute. And we're solidly above. We've traded sideways. Next level, straight up. So EN solid for a buy. EA, pull back a little more. EA is just being a bad little pair. You need to get on up. Stop messing around. So XU is my only money maker right now. I'm down on GJ, down on EA, but still fully expect it to go. So EN definitely looking good for a rally up. Yeah. So, I mean, it could come back down here. You see when it drops off, it could come back down here. You know, you could put a buy stop back up here at 70, 55 or 60. If it comes back up to this area, it's probably going to keep going this time. But it's putting in this shake and bake. EN. Yes, I would hold EN as well. Let's see. EU, same thing. It's going to do what XU is doing, and it's going to do what GU is doing. It's going to rally up. It's been pounded by the US dollar. So as the US dollar rallied, boop, now the US dollar is going to come down, and we are at that resistance level. If you look, I'm on the 1 hour time frame, and I put 108.20 as my resistance level on the month time frame. It doesn't matter where it wicks, it's where the candle closes. So we close below my resistance, and we're probably going to close below my resistance. Even if we get one more candle to close above it, it depends on what that next candle does. But the US dollar doesn't have much upside because of the longer time frames. So EU going to go down. EU is going to go up. GU is going to go up. Anything with U in the front of it, like UJ, is going to go down. XU will go up. U is in the back. So I'm bearish US dollar, and I'm bullish the euro and the pound. Okay. So this is GJ, had a little bit more of a drop off here in the last 5 minutes. Still finding some support, but we are just waiting. Hasn't popped. In a more of a consolidation period, you don't make money in consolidation periods. All right, GN, that's going to be one to look at. That's going to be a little differently. See if I find that one in here. He said the pound New Zealand. Let's see. So if I'm bullish on euro against New Zealand and I'm bullish the pound, well, that means I'm bearish in ZD, so I'm likely to be bullish on the pound New Zealand. And I have not played this pair, so I don't know how it moves, but I'm pretty sure it moves like the rest. Yep, so that kind of looks like GJ. If I were to go to the month time frame on GJ and check that out, we're going to get a similar look right here. So you see that setup compared to that setup, they look the same. So we're just waiting for a pop on up. So GN, GJ, same type of setup. Bullish, it's going to break through that resistance level. That is a bull flag pattern coming off of the bottom. Very solid. All we need to do is break through that 200-week moving average, and we'll be off to the races. Pop, 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 several weeks in a row. So that would be a solid swing trade all the way up, all the way up. On the daily time frame, we've also got a bullish setup, long-term flag setup. It's played out for quite some time, since November when it hit a high, and then it's come down, consolidated, Now we are getting ready to rally. So I'm bullish the pound, bearish NZD, bullish on euro, and bearish on the US dollar. All right. So that's what we're looking at. Go back to XU. Still, once it comes to these moving averages, it'll hesitate a little bit. Then it'll pop through it. Still a nice slow rally is going to take place on that. The pound yen. Let's go to the 5-minute. So maybe putting in a bottom here and then a rally back up. Still waiting on these to develop. A lot of consolidation. Money has not come to us as quick as we'd like it, but fast money is not always good money. Just take your time, play it conservatively, and let it play out, and it should be good to you. All right. So while we're waiting on that to develop, let's go back here and see Euro CHF, Euro Swiss. Yeah. Chris, we've already covered Euro AUD. I'm in a buy on that, and it is still at support. So you see my buy line up here where I thought it was going to break out. It has come down, sitting on that support. I think it'll reverse and rally back up and eventually break above because it's very bullish on my longer time frames. Euro CHF. Yeah, I'm bearish down to 190, 1920. This is the hour time frame. Let's go. Yeah, I think I called bearish on Euro CHF earlier. Actually, let's look. It's breaking out on the month time frame. I'm trying to remember what I called in the earlier session. Yeah, it's going to come back a little bit. So it'll come back to maybe 1900. We are at 1934. It could come back a little bit below to 1900 on the week time frame. That's sitting at 1855. We could come a little bit lower than 1900, 1985, 1970. Let's look at the day time frame. Day time frame, we've had a rally. It's pulling back. Could pull back to the 10. It could pull all the way back to this level, which if you look, I automatically see old resistance will become new support. That's too far down. That's 1800. I don't think it'll go that far. It'll probably bounce somewhere in this area, 1850, maybe not all the way down. Also, here's a resistance level that is in this general range at 1885. You got 4 day candles, 1, 2, 3, 4 day candles at 1880, 1885-ish. So that's probably where we could bounce off of. And then we're going to go up. That's Euro CHF. So that's what I think on that. Yeah, nice little sell-off. Probably bounce up and then come on down a couple more hour time frame. It's looking good. Okay. So back to XU, still at that resistance level. Just waiting on that to pop through. EA has not done anything yet for me. It is actually still coming down. And GJ had a bigger drop off than I expected. So that has pulled all the way down. And I'm going to have to close that to help myself here. So I had to get out of one. Let's see, I'm going to add to this. I think GJ should have a bounce here. So I'm going to do another buy. Let's see, 2160. All right, so I averaged down a little bit on GJ. I think it's going to play that bounce, so that put me in profit on that one. Well, got to wait for that to move, but I just got that, so I added to my GJ position. Euro AUD is still kind of back and forth. Just waiting to see how this plays out. Let's go to 30 minutes. And still think we're coming off the bottom here on the pound pairs. So it's just a lot of support down at these levels, but still been in a downtrend, so I don't think the bottom will fall out. I think we will bounce. At least we should. All right. So in profit on that last entry, if you would have done average down on GJ, get a little bit in the money on that one. Let's see. Back to my 15-minute. So that could be, this candle could be like this candle right here, where we drop below, but we're still putting in higher lows. So on the 15-minute time frame, rally up. It's not very often it gets very far away from your moving averages. It'll normally bounce back in, even on the lower time frames, bounce back into your moving averages. Hustle Glow, you've been selling ECH. That's what you're saying. You've been holding that ECH sell. That'd be pretty good if you did. So I'm still down pretty heavy on Euro AUD. I'm once GJ comes up back up to 151.07ish, I'll be break even because I did a average down here. All right. Well, good job on holding ECH sell. That's good. So you got some more downside to that. Plus, we're at a 151 level, so we're finding some level of support here. When your whole dollar marks are going to be generally solid support or resistance. Check back in on Euro AUD. Still sitting on that support level, so we could get a solid bounce if you're just tuning in. I really don't see much downside to Euro AUD. It is looking like it's going to go up. You know, it's just kind of playing around in this area, but we are still in a pennant pattern. We've broken above the channel trend resistance, this line that I drew. I'm just going to leave that in there. Mm. Definitely got some resistance across the top here. This is the 1 hour time frame that we've got to get through. So a little more of a drop than I have expected, obviously. Got to wait that one out. So the expectancy of holding and rallying off, breaking through that resistance, it hadn't happened, had a pullback. So we just got to wait that one out. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to get in a little bit of a downward lower time frame pullback. Like it would have more room to come on down, but we've already gotten close, so we are still putting in support on the 200. So we struggle with it in this area, consolidated, got on top of it, a lot of consolidation here, come back to support this rally. This is a pullback off of the impulse rally, and then we drop back. So we are still putting in higher lows, but we have solid resistance that we had to break through, even though we did break through that channel trend right there. All right, waiting on that one to play out. Lower time frame, almost in the oversold territory. Take profit for ECH. I think I said 190. I don't remember the numbers. You'd have to go look, but I called the next drop down, said it could go to like 1880, like 1900, 1880. I don't remember the numbers with that. If y'all remember what I said on ECH, y'all can drop that in there for the person that just asked. But I did say it. Take profit like on gold, 1347. Yeah, that would be a solid point way up. 1347 on gold. Actually, it could come all the way back up here, 1355, 1354. So we're coming off. This is like when you get a hard drop, you're going to get an impulse bounce. So that's what we're looking at, getting ready to get an impulse bounce. But we're coming way off of a drop. So we should get a decent bounce. It's got to break through this and come back on up. All right. How long do I wait it out? Euro AUD, Chris? I guess that's what you're talking about. Okay. Well, I do what's called double down or average down. Stop losses tend to stop me out. If I know that it's going to go in my direction, well, I'll double down every 30 pips against me. But you don't want to get caught in a reversal. So on the longer time frames, I said we are very bullish on Euro AUD. So that's an uptrend. We're at resistance across these weeks over here. We also have multiple weeks at resistance. So this is a bull pennant that is forming and a breakout is coming. So we could do something where a breakdown, whenever we fell here, we were at support in this level. And whenever we broke down, just several weeks in a row straight down. So once we break up, it's going to be several weeks in a row. We could put on 2,000 pips over the course of 4 to 6 weeks, or it could be a solid run up. But I think I'm very bullish on EA, so I'm not selling it. I'm just waiting it out, and I think we'll turn a corner pretty soon, within the next hour or so. That was just a little drop off. Nothing major in my opinion. 30-minute time frame. Plus, we have some support. As I said, on the 30-minute, we've got higher lows, and we're at that resistance where we want to break out. And you see my channel trend right here, that line that I got right in there. And you see how it's been perched above it. All I did was connect highs across the other way back, connected perfectly. Those three came right through here. We've been sitting on top of it right here, pushing above it, and boop, we're going to power through it. So that's what I think. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. GA. All right. So here's what I say again. I am bullish on what? I'm bullish on euro. I am bullish on the pound. So if I'm bullish on euro and bullish on the pound, I'm bullish on euro AUD. So that means I'm bearish Australia dollar. And I'm bullish on the pound. So by default, I am going to be bullish pound AUD. So I would be a buyer of this bad boy right here. And if we look at the pound yen, getting a bounce back up here, I am back in the money. We've come way up. So now my average down has worked. I could actually leave this, or once it gets up, I could close this position out. Since I got in a buy at a lower, I could reduce my risk or cut some of this because I got a 3 lot here and a 2 lot down here. So I could reduce this to 1. So I could, once this gets in the money up here, I could close that out. If I want to reduce my risk, close out 2 lots, still keep my 3 lot. I was only going to do a 3 lot risk on the pound. Don't want to be greedy. XU. 5 minutes. So it's found that resistance level, wants to find that support and break up. Once we break up, we'll go on back to 1330. So that'll be another 12 pips up. Okay, euro AUD. So it's up. I'm going to sit on top of this 5 on the 5-minute time frame. Hopefully we will stay up, rally up, and not have much more downside, even though we've got the 10 right here on this time frame. If we hold it and continue down, then we may drop off a little more. But if we power up through the 10, let's just see 15-minute time frame. Yeah, sitting solidly on this 34 support. That's 159.80. I don't see it coming that far down, 159.90. I really don't. At some point, we're going to rally. I mean, you could put a stop loss down here at 159.75 if you want to protect yourself ultimately. That would be 25 pips from where we're at. Because, you know, that's the thing, though. Stop hunting. They'll drop it 40 pips. That thing will go whoop, take everybody out, and then whoop, right back up. And then we're off to the races, and you missed out. So that's the only thing with trading Forex. You've got to trade conservatively. Don't go too heavy so that you have the ability to average down when they stop hunt. Or you wait until they stop hunt and grab some on the bottom. So we've come down a little bit more here. Euro AUD. I thought I was down before on that. Okay. So we've got to break up through this on the 5-minute time frame, break back up and get back on top of the 5 and the 10 to rally on these lower time frames. So a little bit of a hold pattern. GJ's pull back again. So did rally, pulled all the way back, but that's not a whole lot of pips, you know, 7, 8 pips. But when it makes a decisive break up, we should be in good shape. And again, it could come way down here. So I got a stop loss down here, but I could put a stop loss a little bit higher, 150.85, in case it drops 15. Take me out and protect me if I don't want to take much more of a loss on that. if the bottom falls out, which I don't think it will. Check in on UJ. UJ. So the US dollar has not pulled back. It's trading sideways. And XU, that's probably why XU is traded sideways, pulled back a little bit. So if the US dollar decides to drop off from here, which is looking kind of bullish on the hour chart, to tell you the truth, but we are way up here in overbought territory. So I don't see much happening that I think this bottom could fall out. I really don't see it doing a continuation rally because we are above my resistance zone. All right, Euro NZD could put in a rally here. Same thing with Euro AUD, could put in a rally here, coming off of the bottom. And GJ, I'm gonna move gold over here. All right, so GJ rally, EJ also looking like it wants to rally. Break out of this. It's a 5-minute time frame. EJ looks somewhat bullish. Let's see. I think some other folks are selling it. Yeah, that could break on up. Hmm. Yeah, it's at resistance, but it could power up. It's had several days, multiple days at resistance. I think that could break on up. The euro against the yen could be a rally. I think that's going to break up on the week time frame. That's coming off the bottom with 2 weeks, the third week at resistance and support. 5-week moving average. The potential for the euro to break out against the yen is strong. If the pound breaks out against the yen, that would mean the yen would be taking a beating. But as again, I said, bullish on the pound, bullish on euro. Just got to let them play out. So EN looks really good against the New Zealand dollar, and euro against the Australian dollar still looks good, even though we are in a slight pullback. But once we get up and go, we should be good. All right. Let's see what else you guys are asking. Trailing stops. Yeah, you can do a trailing stop. You want to make sure. That's the thing, though, with Forex, the way it moves so quickly, you want to make sure you got in a trend first and not in a consolidation because it whips up and down so much. Yep, GN, I covered GN already. So I'm bullish on the pound. I'm bearish on New Zealand. So I think GN is going to go up. Let's see. GCHF. That's right here. I'm bullish. Actually, it does look like it's coming down, but I'm bullish on the pound. But this one is a little bit different because the Swiss franc is still pretty solid. But we're right at resistance, so I believe we're going to break out against the. We've got a little pullback right here, but we've got the 5-week moving average right here. So I think we are going to rally eventually. I don't know when, but it won't be much more of a pullback on the pound across the board. We are going to have a rally in the pound. I'm pretty sure of it because multiple pairs show we are at hard resistance. So there's the pound. We're sitting right on top of the 5-week moving average. So this is going to go. GJ is going to blow up 153 this week. Here's the month time frame on GJ. Hit resistance 1, 2. We're the third month, third time's the charm. We're going to power up 155, 153. I don't know, but when this thing blows, get out. It's going to keep going. So that's what I think on that. Yeah, Ruth, you should be fine. I'm bearish on the US dollar. So I think it's going to be a sell-off here before you know it. It doesn't have much upside. You know, it's just pushing up just a little bit. We are at 108.26. My resistance was 108.20, 108.21, give or take. And it's just a little bit above that. It doesn't have much upside, let's put it that way. I think it will eventually drop off. So I am bearish. Yeah, it's because gold is moving counter to the US dollar. So the US dollar pushed up, so gold is pulling back. You just got to let it play itself out. It's only a matter of time. See, we're way up here on the 1 hour time frame. If I go to 15, let's go to 30. So we're still holding the 5 on that. I don't see much upside because we've got resistance. We're almost at hard resistance. We are past hard resistance on the longer time frame. So here is the week time frame. So the next resistance level is 108.56. We're currently at 108.26, 108.25 by 108.26. So we don't have much more upside in this, maybe another 20, 30, if that, if we do it. We may not. We may just turn and pull back and then drop off. But this on the week time frame. The month time frame also has overhead resistance at this level, which is the 5-month moving average. So we're at hard resistance. We could have a pullback for the remainder of this month. I really don't see it rallying. If the US dollar rallies, you need to put a stop loss 108.60. That'd be the furthest I would let it get away from me, because that's above my next hard resistance level. I don't think it will rally. I think they are trying to reduce. So here's the 5-minute. They're trying to reduce the value of the US dollar because they want to make the currency worth less so that our debt holders have less value in their debt, like China. Plus, we've got the plan of the one world government to do away with fiat currency and to implement a one world currency. You better keep an eye on it. You know, you say people talk about it all the time in different circles, or fanatics or weirdos. Well, better pay attention, because it's all over. You step on an American Airlines plane, when you're on that runway, on that jetway walking to the plane, when you look at that plane, the side of that plane, it says one world on it. So open your eyes. Even Taco Bell got a commercial out that says Belluminati. It shows the pyramid and the eye. So there's some other things that are going on. They are going to bring about a one world currency. That's the plan. Unification of a one world government and doing away with fiat currency, where they will keep track of it. Obviously, you know, people are getting chipped with a microchip. That microchip just has medical information. It's going to eventually have your banking information. You will be able to walk into a supermarket, a store, and you're going to buy something. When they ask you to scan, you're going to put your hand under that scanner, and it's going to deduct from your bank account. It's coming. You wait. Just wait and see. So Euro AUD looking like it's going to pick up here a little bit off of the bottom. I'm on the 5-minute time frame, kind of curving back up. So we just need a nice little push. GJ had a little pop. Let's go to 5-minute. There you go. Back at resistance, so I'm in money on GJ right now. Very good. So you had to wait that one out. EA is my only waiting out much longer. I could add to it right now. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to wait a minute. Let's just see how that does. Pop, pop, pop. Yep. Forex traders are about to be out of business. Oh no. I'm sure there's still going to be something to make money off of. Crypto, they're still going to have their methods of manipulation somehow. And we're going to find whatever is the next big thing and get in on. Chip dogs was the start and test. Yep. Came chips, how society would take them, letting their dogs, their pets being chipped. Very good. At least you guys are on the same page. Y'all understand. I know when I was talking about this 15, 20 years ago, people were saying, whatever, you're crazy. And now it's all coming into being. EG, yes, I mentioned EG. That was a battle between euro. I'm bullish on euro and the pound, but when you pair euro against the pound, that was a different story. I think I said EG would go down, down, down. But let's take a look. That is the 1 hour time frame. Let's just look at this chart without any moving averages and see. What are we thinking? Okay. What does that look like to you based on what you're just seeing without any moving averages? That's going to come on back down to this support level right here. Even though we're at somewhat of a support level, which was old resistance, kind of at that area, you know, could bounce up. Let's see the week time frame. So we came down, we broke down below that support level. Now we bounced up into it. So we're actually under it. And across here, it was old support. Now it could be acting as new resistance since we are under it. So we've come down, rallied up. This week we could drop on down. Let's see what the day looks like. And I don't even have moving averages. I just already have an idea of what it's looking like. Draw a trend line, boop, connect dots. I don't see that we have much upside. Yep, bottoms are all right here. We're at that. Pushing up into the old support is now new resistance. So we dropped off, we channeled, little drop back up, and boop, dropped off. Now we're getting weaker, getting under it. Boop. We're going to come on down on the day time frame. Let's just go ahead and add moving averages, and you will see the difference it makes. All right, so we're solidly under these moving averages and the 100, 250, bounced up into the 50, boop, it will come on down. Let's go back to the month just so you can see. We're above the moving averages, but we're weakening. We're finding support on the 20, but we've already kind of come under it. We could continue to roll on down. I don't see the strength is on the side of the euro against the pound. It is weak. So the pound is stronger. All right, so this is why we bounced here. We came down, we bounced off the 100, a little bit above it. I'm sorry, a little bit below it. And then we bounced up into the 10. We're sitting on the 10 and the 5. We're going to come down and drop off once we fall below. So EG is a good sell. Back down to this level on the week time frame, 81.12. And we are at 87.61. So that's a good 650 pips down over the next few weeks. You want to swing trade? There's your swing trade. Same thing on the day time frame. We'll at least drop on back down to this level for sure. Maybe another little bounce, and then we'll plow on through it. Okay, that's E to the G. Back to GJ. Still bounced up into that resistance 5-minute time frame, still finding its legs to get it going. Nothing major has happened just yet, just waiting it out. Let's see, XU, UJ, still trading sideways at that level. This is a 5-minute chart, so it held the 5, pulled back all the way to the 20, rode the 20, got on top of the 5 again. Now we're back under the 5. So we're starting to show a little more weakness on the lower time frame. Could pull back to the 34, 108.15. It's a slow mover, doesn't pack on much. Yep, double top on the lower time frame, but it's not going to be a double top on the longer time frame. Just finding resistance. Go to 4 hour. Actually, I'm going to go to 2 hour. So we're right at this level. Look at that. Where we're at right now. Boom. Look at this right here. We are right at old support. Let's zoom in on that. Move that over. No, no, no. Get back here. See that right there? Our price line is almost at this old support level from January. So we are probably going to find solid resistance there and turn back. Plus, we're so far up. UJ is about to have a sell-off. XU is about to rally. So it just ebbs and flows. Remember I said when you hit a little resistance here, you're going to pull back. You're going to circle back. So it just depends. Got to be patient. Let it ride itself out. Ride the waves. Excuse me. Oh, my. I got to get going here. Let's see. I didn't realize what time it is. I got to get my kids up. So I'm going to have to end this party here pretty quick. Just hang on one second. All right, so we see everything is still looking good on Euro AUD. I've got a few more minutes, or about 10, and then I'm going to get rolling. But we have to get things situated here on my end. So let's see. Well, thanks, Diana. That's very nice of you. All right. For sure. I like to think so. Excuse me. Okay. So Euro AUD is still holding. It's got a little resistance to clear, but it should run up, and then still very bullish on it. Not too concerned. If you want to be concerned, you can put a stop loss down here about 159.93, because if it comes back down, it could probably come down 159.80, and then you try to get back in if it comes down to that level. I really don't think it will, but we are starting to pick back up. If we go look at Euro NZD, we're starting to pick back up on the Euro here. We go look at Euro JPY. We got a little resistance, so the yen is still a little bit stronger. Oh, that's the week time frame. Let's go to the 5. Got to make sure you're on the right time frame. All right, Euro JPY, we're picking up. Euro NZD, let me go to the 5 minute, and you will see. Got to compare apples to apples. Strong pickup in the Euro. So Euro AUD, what are you waiting on? Bust through those. Let's get it going. We are ready to make some money today. The pound yen. Ooh, that's not good. I mean, it's not bad either. It's just one of those impulse drops, really and truly. That was only 6, 7 pips, nothing major. But that's how the pound is. It's got a lot of pips to pack on and take away. So just got to let it do its thing. And you see, once it pushed up here and then we had a big drop, well, then after that big drop, boop, 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 it rallied up hard. So that's all we're waiting on, is for this to turn and run. Still very bullish on the pound. It's just a lot of consolidation that we are stuck in for now. And if you're scalping, you could scalp whenever you see you're coming to resistance levels, moving average resistance levels, and pull back. You never know 100% what it's going to do, that it would have done this, come all the way back, but still 7 to 10, that's the kind of pips you're trying to catch. I'm more of a 30 to 50, 70 pip catcher. I like to do that based on the moving averages and ride it a little bit further than most folks. But if you want to scalp, sure enough, you can do that. Get in, just don't over leverage so that you have room to catch some extra moves, and you'll be good to go. With that being said, I am going to work my way out of here, but you guys should have it. Take profit for EA. No, I'm not in a GJ sell. Not going to sell GJ. Very bullish on the pound. EA, we're at 160. I said 160. I don't remember. I should write these things down so I could tell you. Definitely going 161. We should pack on 100 pips here today. See, on the 1 hour time frame, you've got the 50 coming up here, the 100, 200. We've been under in a downward move for the last several days, actually almost a month, putting in lower highs. And this is almost like a inverted head and shoulders. There's your left shoulder, whoop, your head, and your right shoulder putting in. Plus, we're on top of the 100, 250. We're finding support. So we should break out and run 161, 161.50. We've got a little more resistance at 162, but I'm going to ride it up there. That is my game plan. So y'all know what's going on, and I've given quite a bit of analysis here. I will have this recording available on t.me/JRock Forex, my broadcast channel. You'll be able to find that, or on my YouTube channel, JRock Forex. All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you again soon. Hopefully, we make some money before this is over. Let these things rally. But be sure to protect yourself, because it could always pull a reversal really quick. With Forex, you never know. They've got some crazy things that happen. You can't predict news, social or economic or political situations that will turn the table. So if you put a stop loss in, it'll protect you if you got to walk away. Even if you take a loss, at least you stay in the game. You don't blow your account. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all the kind words.